What's up, y'all? It's your boy Charles. It's your boy Charles Arnez World. Listen, do y'all remember a show that came on back in the 90s? Well, it was like maybe like late 90s, early 2000s. To Catch a Predator. That was one of a lot of people's like underground favorite show. Catch a Predator on NBC with Chris Hansen. Was it Dateline? I forgot, but which Dateline, NBC, something like that. But anyway, they would set it up. If y'all don't know the premise for all y'all young people, they would set it up where they would have, I guess, they would set it up where they would communicate with they would have a person pretending to be a little kid, and they would correspond through like a dating site, whatever. And they would like set up a meeting with a grown person, and the grown person would show up to the house thinking that he's getting ready to meet up with like an underage kid, boy or girl. And then Chris Hansen comes out with the cameras and everything. Hey, this is Chris Hansen. Why are you here trying to meet a underage person for lewd acts? Then the person would run or whatever, and then they would get caught with the police outside. They would have a police outside of the house on standby, ready to catch them, whatever city that they were in. It was like a sting for like S assault M. I can't say it because it's YouTube. Y'all know what I mean by M. M kids. But I don't even know how can you talk molester? Shit, this is stupid. So that was a good show. It was like everybody watched that show to see these people get caught. But you know that show abruptly ended, even though it had all these ratings. It seemed like every season they came back, they would get more and more popular, to the point where I think they started to get like spoofed by other shows, like the Boondocks, the cartoon Boondocks at the time, which was a hot show, did a spoof on To Catch a Predator, and a bunch of other shows. But I always wondered, like, the show got canceled and never came back. I think they brought it back one time, then it ended up getting canceled again, and it was a really popular show. Plus, it was shedding a light on like a very serious thing and putting a lot of these sick people behind bars that are out here harming children and preying on kids. So I always wondered what happened to that damn show. Well, I ended up doing some digging. This is what I found out what happened to that show. Apparently, race always plays a big part of it. From what my sources say, and I can't reveal who my sources are, but it's somebody who worked at NBC and worked in the industry. And from other videos that I've also seen throughout the years and also did my own research, the reason why that popular show that was helping to cleanse the world of all these sick bastards preying on kids, the reason why that show was canceled, even though it was one of the most popular shows on NBC at the time, is because they found that they was catching more white males in those things than any other like race. Like, you know, they would sometimes mix it up. It'd be like a black guy, sometimes it'd be like an Asian guy, and sometimes it'd be like an Hispanic guy getting caught. Well, they started to notice that as they did more and more of these things, they wanted to show a variety of people being caught, because they didn't want it to be like racially biased. Like, oh, they're trying to just show this particular group doing this to kids. So they wanted to have a mixture of different, stings and people getting caught. Well, what ended up happening is, setting up these stings with Chris Hansen, they realized that they had more white males than any other males. So they had to really like dig to sift through to find, like, say for instance, a black guy or like a Hispanic guy or Asian guy trying to set them up, with a kid or whatever, trying to come at a kid. They had to like really go through like a bunch of different white men to get to like an Asian guy, just to show a mixture of different, varieties of different, men that are sick out there. They didn't want to just have just one group of men being looked at as these particular men are preying on children from this particular background or race. But they just got tired of just mostly all white males. They had to sift through hundreds of white males that were coming at kids before they could find like somebody else, like another nationality, which says a lot, and which also actually kind of help kind of push that stereotype they've always said about like wet white men, kind of like preying on children and stuff like that. But then eventually it became so much work, because you got to think, setting up all these things, that costs money. And they got caught, just getting caught, videotaping white male after white male after white male, till eventually the show, even though it was a hit and real popular, and it was like everybody watched that show. It's like everybody watched that one show, What Would You Do? Remember that show, What Would You Do, used to be on ABC, which is another good show that they ended up canceling. But the reason why they went ahead and canceled it, because they had too many, it made white men look bad, essentially. Because they were the majority of the men that were actually getting caught up with these things to the point where the production, it was just too much, and they wanted to show more of a bias of different races of men to the point where they had to sift through white male after white male, and they're videotaping all these things to the point where it was so much footage, and it was like, we have to really dig. So it was like with the production of it and with the sifting through all those men to get to, you know, different cultures, different races of men, it just became too costly no matter how popular the show was. And also, like I always say, media is not all about entertainment and being informative. They want to set certain stereotypes. They want to set certain ways you view people. And they don't want to make all white men look like they all are, you know, molesters after children. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, now had it been a bunch of black men they were catching, that show probably still be on. You see what I'm saying? Or a bunch of different races of men, the show would still been on. But the fact that they kept catching white men trying to come after kids, that it was like, okay, we got to cut this. And the show abruptly ended. If y'all don't think I'm telling the truth, do your dig. I'm telling you, man. Anyway, man, what y'all think? Y'all think this is true? Leave your comments, and let's talk about it in the comments. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to Charles Inez World. Talk to y'all later.